Hi, my name's Daniel.
All right,
I'm here
guys, we
today
should be
to.
recording and hopefully the volume gets picked up. This should be video number 2 for the channel. And for this one, I just really wanted to get a nice little discussion amongst people that play the game, kind of see where our heads are, if we're liking it, how we're liking it, and maybe just throw in some advice for, the people that are watching this video. So I'm going to have you all introduce yourself real quick, guys.
All right, how are we introducing ourselves? Do you just want us to tell us, our names and the deck choice, or do you just
Yeah,
want us
yeah, yeah,
to?
that's fine. Just go ahead and let the people know your name, what you've been playing.
All right, well, I'm Daniel. I'm your everyday average striker player, testing the deck because going first in this format is broken, and yeah, that's all I got.
All right. RJ?
Uh, I'm RJ. I play Madolches, and I refuse to play hand traps.
I like it. Sneaky?
Yeah, I'm sneaky, but you can call me Vinny. My deck of choices format is Phantom Knights, just because the versatility.
All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and start with Sneaky. So you said the versatility. How have the Phantom Knights been treating you this format, man?
Honestly, it's been really good. So obviously for the people who've played me, I have that hand loop with the
Oh, you're the
Sky
Sky Scourge
Scourge.
guy.
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely. That shit's disgusting. Bro, literally, I watch your games and I'm like, man, if he goes first, he's just gonna fuck you guys up every time.
Yeah, and I added a small rocket package to it. So
I
if
think I
I
saw you play
open
like a recharger or something. Yeah.
So if I open, so I run three quick launch, a tracer, and a recharger, and then obviously the boot. So if I open quick launch, I'm just gonna start that, and on my fifth summon, basically, I'll have Boral Savage on the board,
That's that
and if
protection you need.
yeah, and if they have nib, they'll drop it. There's their nib, and then I just have full combo. But basically, with my deck, if I notice they don't have hand traps, they're getting looped, and I end on goons, and then if not, at best or at worst, I'll still end on goons, Fogblade set, and then obviously Nightmare. So I mean, it's been pretty good. I mean, going second, with Break Sword and Rusty, and the ability to bait all their stuff and then go into
Oh yeah.
Verte and then goons,
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Do you play
I feel,
the Cherubini in your deck too?
yep.
Yeah, the amount of people
Because
I've seen try to ash that or like just impermit or something is pretty ridiculous.
yeah, they it's crazy. I mean, they just don't read. But I actually have to play Cherubini and then one Seer, one Graph because those are fiends. So I'd banish Octros, Doomdog Octros, Seer, Graph, and then Artifact Dagda, which is my Light Fairy for Sky Scourge. So
I like it a
there
lot,
you
man.
go, bro.
I've definitely watched you, and we've even played a couple times. I don't know if you like remember, but I'm the only
Oh,
Adamancipator player.
yeah.
Hey
Yep.
there, Key. Key just joined the chat. We're gonna go
Huh.
ahead and ask him some
Hello.
questions too in a second. How you doing, brother?
I'm here.
Awesome. All right, so thank you for sharing a little bit about that, Sneaky. We're gonna ask you some more questions here in a moment. I want to go ahead and pop over to someone else to see their opinions. I know my boy has a little frustration with the format, so let's hop on over to Daniel. How you doing today, man?
I mean, I'm fine. It's just
You living
every day
good,
in my
brother?
life. I guess you could say that.
All right, so you were playing what for the format? Are you still playing Geist, or did you switch over to Golden Lord, or what are you playing now? Striker, right?
Yeah, I play Go Second Striker.
Striker, okay. How have you been liking that deck this format, man? Do you still feel like Striker's playable? Do you feel like some changes need to be made to the ban list in order for it to be really at full power? How do you feel about it?
All right, this format. Shout out to my boy Roman for giving me a deck list and letting me and showing me the actual text within the striker list.
Right, shout out Roman.
This format, I feel like going second striker is actually very strong because what are the top decks again? Dinosaurs, Eldritch, V World, and then
Drytron.
Dry Time.
Yeah,
Okay, striker against Dinos and Eldritch is a buy. It really is. We have Shark Cannon, we main DD Crows and Skullmeisters. It's a buy.
that's good. That's good. It's a really
I,
popular deck right now, Eldritch.
yeah. And then you gotta worry about the Zodiac part. Cool. I got Afterburners. Good game.
All right, so Eldritch is a good matchup for you. How do you feel about the Drytron virtual world? I could probably imagine Dinosaur isn't that hard of a matchup for you either. Like you said, you play the Crows, you play the Shark Cannons.
I've never actually seen Duraiton play because I've been at work all the time.
Right,
But I heard
right.
if you droll them, you like kind of lose.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I actually just switched out the imperms that were in my list for Drolls just because I feel like you need them going second, like if you ever have to.
100%. Like I see people in Striker play even Ghost Bell now, and
Yeah,
it's
people
strong.
definitely play those graveyard stoppers. I feel like right now in this format, decks are really graveyard reliant. Like I don't know if you guys have seen the Drytron besides, Daniel who hasn't, but one of the plays they really like to do is activate the spell to summon something, send that for Linkuriboh, and then they would activate that from the graveyard. Things like Skullmeister, DD Crow, anything that can really remove or stop that from resolving is pretty crippling to the deck from what I've seen. So if you play those like graveyard stoppers, then you're probably in good shape this format.
Oh, for sure. And then you said something about the matchup versus V World.
Yeah, for sure.
When they end on just Calamities and Trap, I don't really have a problem with that because my deck is all spells.
Right,
So
right.
like I'm testing out Widow Anchor and I'm testing out Droplets all together, and like I have like 6 different ways to even just negate that. And if you pop it with the trap, I'm also maining Cyclone.
Yeah, those are all just really good resources to have. Cyclone's a pretty good card right now too. I don't know how much I like it compared to like Twin Twisters as of now, but Cyclone against things like Eldritch definitely prevents them, especially if you're playing like a deck that has to grind with them. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's why I feel like Striker in this format is actually pretty decent because it can just handle its own in the grind game.
For sure. I want to go ahead and ask the guy that just joined some questions. Key, what are you playing this format, man? What deck appeals to you, Key? He's probably typing up right now for us. But yeah, Key is another player that I've been seeing do extremely VW, right? I was watching a couple of his games earlier, and while I don't know how to do the VW combos, I see him like thriving with them. How have you been feeling about Virtual World, Key? Do you feel like it's the best deck of the format? Do you feel like it's up to par with Drytron? I agree for sure. Key says that Virtual World is one of the better decks of the format, and I definitely agree. I feel like Konami's trying to put us into this power creep zone again, to where they're just putting out like new decks that are better than all the old ones, trying to wash them away. And I think that Drytron, Eldritch, Virtual World, and for sure Dinosaurs even are just the decks that are capable of holding it down for the rest of the format. There's Xenon Blade to the party. Yeah, while they're typing, I'm gonna go ahead and get to RJ so it's not all dead air here. You still with me, brother RJ?
Yeah, man.
All right, bet. So Madolche, huh?
Yes, sir. No
Tell
hand
us about
traps.
it. How's that been going for you, man?
I lose the trap cards and hand traps and really anything.
Would you recommend Madolche for people trying to play the game right now?
If you want to play like competitive, probably not because you lose to one negate. You're playing like casual levels. You can. I mean, I tapped the 1K. That's kind of about it though. But like, it can do some pretty spicy stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see you as a real going second threat. I've played against you a bunch, and I know that you main the things like the Dark Ruler and the Evenly Matched. How do you really feel about those cards going into the next format? Because I feel like I'm sorry, Dark Ruler is still a
It's
pretty
getting worse.
viable card against things like Drytron, but against
Yeah.
Calamities, I don't really know if it holds that much weight, right?
Oh, so against calamities, if they don't do it on standby, like if they wait for the monster, it's a lot better. Like I've been seeing that. If they do standby phase, it's the worst. Evenly is getting better because of all the trap cards coming into play. With they got like Trenchal, Solemns.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Even
it's
against
okay.
Eldritch.
Yeah, like I still kind of struggle because like all this stuff floats if I don't draw it. But
Awesome. All right. Well, we got Xenon popping in. I'm gonna ask
Hello.
Xenon some questions, but before we do that, I want to cover what's been going on in the chat. Key was just talking about how he feels like Drytron and Eldritch are the better decks right now, but he doesn't know which one is the best deck. Personally, I feel like we're heading towards almost a tier 0 format with Drytron. People can disagree. I might be wrong, but from what I've seen, a guy resolved Ben 10 4 times against me earlier. Man, I don't really know what else to call that besides like tier 0 type beats, but you know. He also said a good card versus VFD, or the best card, is Xyz's Encore, which is a card I haven't seen since like Evil Swarm format, and makes a lot of sense. Can you not hear me, Xenon? Can everyone else hear me okay, or do I sound far away?
No, you sound fine.
Awesome. All right. Well, hopefully you can hear me a little bit in a second. So I'm glad that we brought up the VFD because I want to kind of go over that. Start with my boy. What was your user? Sneaky. All right, Sneaky. How do you feel about VFD, man? True king of all Kalam.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, like, I was thinking about it at first, like, all right, VFD to one, this ban list I think was more fair, but even just one, dude, like, it's hard out. Like, it really is when you can't play, and like, especially when a lot of the decks are monster effect reliant.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much you can do. Like, for me, like, for a match, my worst matchup is Virtual World that wins the dice roll. That's my worst matchup.
Yeah. What about Drytron? Do you feel comfortable against that?
Drytron, I mean, them going first, like, depending on my hand, I feel like, I can try and break their board, but if I'm going first and with Drytron, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of Drytron players that I play, they don't seem to have too many hand traps. I guess maybe like 6, and there was that one that like Herald, the orange one or whatever they
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
But they have to
Key just
they
brought
have to
that up. The orange
discard.
light.
Yeah, they have to discard one for that. So I mean, going first for me with my Phantom Knight deck, I mean, I'm not really worried unless I probably get like 3 hand traps. Just because my deck is just PK core and then all extenders.
Right.
So,
And that
but
core has a
yeah,
lot of good one card combos from what I've seen. Like there's a lot of single cards that can turn into a really good play with the PK stuff.
yeah. But as for VFD, man, it's a tough card out. I mean, I guess with Eldritch and Zodiac, the Eldritch Zodiac decks, I mean, if you have set 4, set 5 pass, I mean, you're fine. But
Oh
I
yeah, for
mean,
sure. That's the one counter I feel like can play around like what VFD does, because like with Eldritch you don't really mind playing under a Calamities if you play those traps, you know what I mean? Like you can still go into the next turn knowing you can interact. And I feel like that's important.
yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like they didn't touch VFD on the ban list because if they ban VFD, a lot of people are not gonna play Virtual World. Like,
Oh, no
to
one
be
would.
honest, yeah.
No one
So
would. I
I
played
think
against someone
Konami's just
earlier. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
I think Konami's just trying to make money there. You know what I mean? Because I mean, that archetype is like pretty new. So
Yeah, for sure. Can you hear me a bit better now, Xenon?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome.
Wait. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, while I got you, bro, I want to go ahead and ask you
Well,
some questions, man.
good.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the deck you play, man.
Oh, I personally I play 60 card invoked counter with mine. What is it? How do you say it? It's with Mystic Mine and like a lot of shenanigans.
Bro,
If you
I'm
see
so
me
glad that you
blow,
just reminded me of what you play. I kind of talked a little bit about everyone here, and I want to talk about you now that I remember. This
oh,
guy,
okay.
okay,
So
Xenon, this is the only man in existence that is playing a 60 card deck, but will see all of the good shit that he wants to see, like every round. It's amazing. Like,
if you've seen my replays or the other guy, Blobfish, is really good at it too. He actually inspired me to play it.
yeah,
And
Blobfish is a really cool guy. I was trying to see if he was online, but I couldn't find him.
yeah, he's very quiet. But him and there's this other guy used to be ugly ass Ojama. He kind of taught me how to play this deck.
Oh yeah, he's been playing since
Basically.
Dueling Network with that same name.
Yeah, I've been playing the same name too since Dueling Network too. So some of the card choices that I usually play is Awakening the Dragons, especially with Zoo.
Is that the one that's like if it's destroyed you get like an extra deck monster?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a beastly card, man.
So what I'm seeing is a lot is when especially I rarely lose against Zoo and Outledge. I have a little bit if it's pure Outledge, but if it's Outledge, I usually play the Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon because they can't out it with anything and they can't run over it
What does
unless they
that
make
card
the
do?
So Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon is it cannot be targeted, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it's a 45 beat stick. It's a fusion, so it's very good with invoked because Alistair. So even Access Code Talker has a problem. Yeah, running over it if I have Invoker in hand.
Right, for sure. So it
It'll be a
honestly
50.
sounds like it's more of a like an Avramax for Eldritch. Like they have a really hard time dealing with that.
It's a very good outer. Usually I would play Ultimate Falcon if depending what my opponent has on his board. The safe route is always Ultimate Falcon, but when he has like heavy combos, it's really hard to out it. I do put the extra deck, like I put Dragoon, Last Warrior.
Right.
Um,
So your
Ultimate
extra is kind of
Falcon.
filled with just things that you can summon in those optional situations.
Yeah,
I like
so a lot of times, depending what your opponent plays, or you got, of course, you got to foresee what your opponent, especially Dueling Book, is very hard to read what your opponent's doing. So if I have Awakening in my hand, like turn one, mine's a very go blind second deck. So I usually code second. I would set Awakening the Dragons, then I'd Lightning Storm, just to make sure they don't have if they play a Cosmic or like a Duster.
You're just hoping they'll chain it to get that reaction.
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
chain it. They'll chain it. I've seen people chain it, and they've done stupid stuff before. Or I purposely set the Awakening Dragons, a lot of them, and while I have Mystic Mine on the field, they'll find Harpy Feather Duster, Lightning Storm. I've been Heavy Dustered. Yeah, a lot of dirty cards to get rid of
because
mine.
since we
But,
play in singles, man, you really have to play an out for mine. And I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie, me
so
being a singles player, I'm gonna destroy that Waking of the Dragon just in case.
yeah, a lot of times it's been going off a lot, especially if you got two off. The combo is you play Ultimate Falcon first, then you play Last Warrior. So they cannot summon; they can only set, and Falcon's unaffected. And you have a 35 beat stick. And Last Warrior, if you manage to have Invoker in your hand, you can make it to 3350. As well as a good combo. I see, especially combo orientated. Play Sphere Mode in your main deck. Then, if you have Mystic Mine on the field, you Sphere first, then you Mystic Mine their field. So that'll give you at least two
Your deck
spell
plays so much stuff, bro.
Yeah,
Your
there's a
deck
lot.
plays so much like gimmicks. I love it. I like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of gimmicky cards that actually work in. It really works in singles a lot. It does work in matches too. I've won a couple matches, or I'd side out the Awakening the Dragons. I'd play like Triple Tackle Talents, Cubic Ascension, Cubic Seed. I'll side in the Drolls if I feel. Right now, I don't see one card that I don't really see too much play since the top two decks are mostly Zoo, Virtual World, and Drytron is Link summoning too much. So Phantasme actually hasn't been doing too well.
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
noticed that.
I'm actually really glad you brought up a card. So I want to go ahead and ask that question while I'm thinking about it. I don't want to forget about it. Let me start with Daniel on this one. You still there, man?
Yeah, if you're gonna ask about Dragoon, I swear to God.
Not yet, I promise. So a card that I lose to 100%, like all the time, because they always open to, is triple tactic talents.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. Daniel, what are your thoughts on that card, man?
I mean, I don't think I've actually like lost a game to that card. Like every time that they resolve it, I don't think I've actually like lost a game.
I'm a bitch to that card, bro. They tactics my Dragoon after they get my negate, and it's just game from there.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, I play control,
Right,
and
for
you
sure.
play combo.
We're in the
So
same boat.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Key just popped in saying that it's the best card against Dragoon, and I definitely
Yeah.
agree.
Yes.
What about you, RJ? You play
I
talent?
can't. I mean, I would definitely play it. I can't afford it. Being called by Beck.
Sneaky, you play the talents, man?
I mean, yeah, playing singles, going first, I run 3 talents, no hand traps.
You're a very sneaky guy.
Yeah.
So I run 1 called by and then 3 talents. So
It's hard for me to out his deck because he Dragoons me, and my going second blind is really crying.
I can dig it.
He cries a lot.
All right, well, we're at like 21 minutes, so I want to get at least another 10, make it like a 30-minute video. I really like this conversation that we're having here. I feel like
All right.
a lot of ideas are being shared here, and
Yeah.
I can really dig it.
I like a lot of outs that, especially Super Poly with Verte not restricted or even Dragoon not damaged.
Right.
I do play Poly a lot. Another good target would be just to play Dragostapelia because if they're playing a lot of dark based decks like Sneaky here, I have the extra room for Venom, or I could even go to Mud Dragon if he plays something extra dark stuff.
I really like the Super Poly in this format.
Yeah.
As a going first player, I don't know if you remember us playing before Xenon, but I'm the Adamancipator player. I like always kind of keep track of the things that hurt me so I can capitalize on that in the future. And the things that really seem to be go second key cards as of now, against me at least, would be the Super Poly, like Xenon mentioned, the talents, like Key mentioned.
Dark Ruler.
Yeah, even the Dark Ruler is pretty effective.
Yeah, I did Dark Ruler you before.
Did you win? Is the question.
I think I'm not sure. I think I Dark Ruler, then I Purgatrioed you, or a Dark Ruler, then I played Mystic Mind.
I believe it, bro. You probably Purgatrioed me.
Actually-
Someone did that to me like within the last 2 days.
Actually, I have a question about Mystic Mind. How do you think it is in this format?
That's a great question. I'm gonna let somebody else answer that before I get to it.
Okay, so I'm coming from a Mystic Mind player. If you're playing pure Mystic Mind, you do lose to Virtual World, period. Like, there's not much you can do because they don't really run back row unless I've seen like some other people on Duelingbook, like the real estate guy. He's really good at Mystic Mind, but he's running like some good combos with Kaiju. But he plays some back row, but Chun Chun does so much in the game.
Dude, shout out to real estate, by the way.
Yeah, he actually does. He makes the Mystic Mind deck. He's actually good at Mystic Mind, I have to admit. I play more of the counter version, so I do. It's like kind of like Sky Strikers. I do play Mystic Mind, but I put it in together with Invoked and with like set rotation. That's a good card with outing Mystic Mind because I out a lot of decks like anti meta. I don't have a problem with because I play Fairy Tail Luna. So before I used to play Kaiju. So with the Kaiju package, Luna was really deadly.
I can definitely imagine that for sure.
You would slumber first, then you get the bigger monster or you get the weaker monster. You summon Luna, add, let's say if the effect failure or impermanence, you just instantly bounce, and you can attack with the big beater. But I've seen actually Blobfish, what he was doing is he would actually give the opponent the bigger monster, then bigger monster.
Kill his own off the slumber.
Yeah, he'll get the weaker one. Then he'll make Anaconda, make Dragoon, pop the 33 beater, and that's 35. That's 35 with Verte and Dragoon. 33. Then I've seen him use Invoke too. He would use Invoke to make the Verte package, so that would be instant game. One hit OTK with Slumber, and especially Dragoon. A lot of Dragoon players are scared of Slumber because they'll just use the 33 beater to run over Dragoon.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that you have to negate, definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure. You have something to negate. So I see that a lot in his build. I main deck MST. It's actually
Mystical Space Typhoon?
Yes.
Really?
Like it?
Yes.
Like it.
That's interesting.
So why? Because A, Mystic Mine, because I'm playing singles. B is because Outledge. In Outledge, they play Conquistador a lot, and I use MST so much on that, or I wait because when they set up the board, I have Mystic Mine on field. They have Golden Lord. They flip it. I'm like, okay, it's my end phase. I just play Typhoon from my hand because I know which which Conquistador they just set or they just played it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Daniel could even be my witness to this. He did a couple deck profiles of mine, and one of the questions that he asked me was against Eldritch, why did I opt in to play Cyclones or Side Cyclones in rather than DD Crows? And my response to that was the Eldritch player was just way too aggressive with their conch. Like if I feel like the one stop that you're going to have is Conquistador, and you're gonna summon your Golden Lord off Sanguine, then in that situation, I feel like Cosmic gives you a lot more play than like a DD Crow, especially when the Golden Lord hasn't touched Graveyard yet. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally. I do agree with that. I see that quite often, especially. I do wait, especially for the Outledge, because Outledge is a lot of control base. I wait until they have a full 3 monsters on the field, and I instantly spear mode them. So that gets rid of the Golden Lord, then they'll get rid of probably some of their traps.
Yeah, for sure.
Then I do main deck Gizmek. It's the more older school.
Yeah, you opened 2 of those against me earlier, I think.
Yeah, I thin out my deck a lot. So of course, I always check deck count and I check cards in hand, like your cards in hand, my cards in hand, as well as cards in deck. And for sure, I'd always check how many invocations I have and invokers I have. So how likely is a percentage for me to draw it?
Yeah, for sure. I want to go ahead and talk about some of the things that Key's mentioning in chat for those of you that aren't reading. Key says that he plays 3 in Virtual World. I'm pretty sure this is Talents, right, Key? You play 3 Talents? Awesome. Let's see what else we got here. He also says the problem is that in this meta, it's hard to break a board when the tier 1 are VFD and Eldritch set 5 pass. You aren't wrong. It's hard to plan for all those things.
Yeah.
And on the Mind topic, Key really isn't feeling the Mind, Dark Ruler, or Droplet. And he thinks the best card against Eldritch is Evenly. That I do kind of agree with. I really don't see Eldritch players open anything to stop a good Evenly matched.
No, I don't think they do. Mostly
maybe Judgment, but a lot of them don't even play that, right?
Judgment, but it's very hefty because if they do that, some decks do follow up with Lightning Storm, or they'll purposely bait out. They'll use Evenly as a bait, then they'll just MST Conquistador if they don't mind, or they'll just Ash the Sanguine.
Yeah, for sure, because they definitely have to use their stop on that Evenly if they have one. They can't let that resolve.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to my boy RJ, who's been pretty quiet. Say something sexy, RJ.
Bananas.
All right, I like it. RJ, you are the biggest meta player here of all of us. You have a very strong reputation on things like Madolche.
Yeah, one top. One top.
Yep.
And Ghost Tricks.
You topped out of 1K. You play the Ghost Tricks.
That was with the Middle Days.
How do you feel about mine, RJ?
It sucks.
That's it. This sucks.
I mean, I play it, but like it gets outed so easily.
You like mine, Sneaky?
I mean, mine's all right. I think it's fair to have when you have all these, strong go first boards, and then
I agree.
when they don't,
I agree.
especially with a Xenon Blade, because he's playing a go second deck with so many ways. He's playing a go second deck with so many ways to beat his opponent,
Yeah.
that your opponent is playing VW. He wastes all their resources to play double VFD just to get mined, and at
Yeah.
that point he's just going to control the game the rest of the way. So I mean, I think it's fair because um I mean, when you're going first, if you're playing a go first deck, I mean, and you go uninterrupted, or you open the called by, you open the triple tactics, it's hard to stop you. So, I mean, I think it's a fair card.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it's fair. I don't want Mystic Mine banned like I used to. I definitely do want it like not at 3. I feel like mine should be something that can come up, not something that you can build a complete strategy around.
Yeah,
And
I do feel like that. Or maybe at 1 would be okay. Like
yeah,
if you
for
can
sure.
use
1
that
or 2, even
rotation.
2 would be okay. Would be better.
Yeah.
Not okay, but better. You know.
Like that's the main reason. Before I feel like why set rotation was hit in the first place, because set rotation is pretty OP against Mystic Mine or Invoked. If you just lucked Invoked out of their out of the field spell, they're not happy because the Mize of the lands can't go off. Bottomless, all those torrential tribute. I've had a lot of players try to torrential tribute me, but they don't really succeed with Meltdown, or Demise of the Lands is very good.
For sure. While we're talking about mine, I do want to mention a pretty cool interaction that I've had with it. I used to think that mine was just kind of a pretty easy win for them if I didn't open my 1 copy of Twin that I used to play, or my 1 Feather Duster that I still play. But the thing that I do a lot now is they'll like get their mine up, and I'll have like Guardian on the field, or normal summon Guardian. And Guardian's condition at end phase is you have to reveal a rock or destroy it. It's not an effect that you get to activate.
Mhm.
So I've actually won quite a few matchups by end phase. Guardian pops himself, and then mine dies.
Yes.
So for any of you guys that are gonna watch my deck profile, or play rock or anything like that, definitely know that you have a little inherent way to get around it if you see it. Mine's never really a fun matchup to play against, but
Yeah.
no matter what you play, there's always a way to get around it. Just try to keep that in mind. Now, I know I said I was going to end the video a while ago, but I do want to go ahead and get one more topic in, and then we can all go about our nights, okay? And while
Sure.
I am talking about it, I do just want to thank you guys again for coming on. I messaged a few people. Only one person turned me down, but I'm really glad that you guys were free to come on and have this conversation with us. I feel like a lot of people can gain some insight from this. And like I said, I've had like 10 messages today from just people
So where's
asking me for
everyone from?
advice.
That's my cool question. Or
I'm sorry, brother. I didn't hear you there.
where's everyone from? I'm from Canada.
Oh, I'm from Illinois in the U.S. So is RJ and Daniel. I'm not really sure where Key or Sneaky are from. Where are you guys from?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan? Italy, man, you're far away.
Oh yeah, I'm from Toronto.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Ryan Hughes local is 10 minutes away from my house.
Ryan, he's a crazy player, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like go crazy about his Trickstar top or anything, or Elise winning with that list, but when he was doing like, I'm sorry, I didn't go crazy over the Sky Striker stuff, but the Trickstar
Yeah.
stuff made me happy. For sure.
Are you talking about the Sky Striker stuff like last format, or
Yeah,
not
Ryan
last
Yu
format?
was bringing
The
Striker
last
back
year.
to life, and then Elise ended up winning a really big event with his list.
I don't know about y'all, but I got really hyped for that.
I like Striker, don't get me wrong. I just finished Kill la Kill today. I mean, I like suits on waifus, don't get me wrong. It's just Trickstar has a special place in my heart for I don't know why. I just like it.
Reincarnation at 3, right?
Please, dude, let me droll and reincarnate kids like I did before. Let me have fun. But let me go ahead and get on this last topic while I have you guys here. I know that we're all victims. Well, not all victims. The ban list wasn't that bad, you know what I mean? But we get a ban list pretty frequently. We get a ban list pretty frequently, and I want to kind of ask you guys one by one, like what you guys think of the list, what you guys feel like should have been hit, and what you guys feel like should be hit moving forward. I know it's really early, but I want to get a real opinion for where the format's heading, you know what I mean? So I'll just start in order by how it's on my screen. Daniel, go ahead and give us a little bit of insight about the ban list. What should have been hit and what should be hit?
I know Sneaky's not gonna like this, but I think Quick Launch honestly should have been hit. Like,
You think it should be hit to like banned or like
to,
to one maybe?
no, to 1.
Okay. Why is that?
I mean,
Nah, dude, I'm fine with that. That
Well,
package is just a
nuts.
little extra for me.
I mean, people still are running it in Eldritch because sometimes it's just a free boar load.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah, it is for sure.
All the groups that I'm in, the Eldritch group is tripping out because they think Cursed is going to get hit, not Elixir, which I think is a bigger hit on the deck if you want me to be
I
honest
think
with
what's
you.
going to get hit?
Cursed Eldland.
That would be pretty good. Well, not for Eldritch players, but good for me.
Good for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I pray to God that Calamities and Dragoon get hit.
You hope those get banned?
Yeah, you know my thoughts and feelings on Dragoon. I don't play it.
Right, for sure.
It's just too of an overpowered card. And Calamities just says you can't play the game. It's not fair.
I definitely agree with Calamities needing to be banned. I feel like too many decks have access to rank 9, and that just kind of wins games if you don't open something to stop it. I feel like we have to see where the Dragoon goes. We really didn't make much use of it in America, but now that a lot of other things did get hit, that's where we're gravitating towards. So I feel like on the next list, Dragoon might be up to actually get hit or touched or Verdi at least. But I feel like we have to kind of see on that. Anything else you feel like is pretty important that needs to be touched, man? Or should come back even?
I got like 2 or 3 things. I love Dinos. Dinos is my deck, but Misk needs to be touched. That card literally says that your opponent can't touch me. It's stupid.
Misk?
Along with Lost World, yes.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Key is next. Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. Did you ask?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, that's it. You don't want to ban Watt Giraffe?
Like me, but no, you guys aren't gonna like me. But Engage is gonna come back to 1 sometime, and I hope you guys are ready.
I mean, if Engage goes back to 1, I'm playing Striker, so I'm okay with that.
All right.
Key is next on my list, but it might take Key some time to go ahead and type it out. So Key, go ahead and tell me what you think should get banned or limited or should come back, and then we'll come back to you and I'll read off what you said, man. So while Key does that, we got RJ. RJ, what's busted, man? What needs to get touched?
Everything.
No, this is a really good opinion because RJ is like the most rogue player out of everyone here, I would say. So you should have some good opinions on what's just too strong for the game.
Okay, so I have a deck that says non-targeting shuffle 2. And if I can't make it, I can't play the game. Like, I know like Dragoon's the problem for most decks. Like, as long like if it's Dragoon's pass, it's easy.
Right.
If it's like a polo for 4 or 2, whatever.
Dragoon set 4
Dragoon
isn't fair.
Like Fogblade, like double Fogblade. I there's no way to break it with like any like non-top 2 deck. Like unless it's like willing like shell out the money or like you want to play competitive. It might be fair, but like I'm a just rogue player at its core.
Right. I don't
These
think anyone's
boards
gonna
I just
argue
can't
with you
break.
when you say you're a rogue player.
Yeah. My Watts, Madolche, and Ghost Tricks.
I'm not gonna lie, man. For what you play, you do really good. I don't know if I've ever really had the time to tell you this, but like I definitely feel like when it comes to people that are really in that rogue category, you do like extremely well. Like there are people that see like your list, like I've seen people play it and be like, why does RJ play this? But none of those people have played remotely as good as you play. Like you've taken the time to really learn the meta. Like last format, my boy RJ was maining 3 Dark Ruler, 3 evenly. Like he knew what he was going to play against, and like he did really well because of that.
Yeah, I haven't dropped a match for that.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you feel like is really good or should maybe come back?
Call Barter 3. I need that card.
I don't think I'm going to argue with you there, man. I was doing some thinking, and I really do feel like hand traps are kind of like nuts right now. I understand that we need them, but like I also feel like we should have a way to kind of skirt them and play the game, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I like Guardian so much. I'm gonna go ahead and read what Key said though. See what I got here. Okay, so first Key says that he thinks that Ben 10 should not exist. And Key, I could not agree with you more. When I tell you a Drytron player that I had already hand trapped twice resolved Ben 10 on me, not three, I'm sorry, 4 times in a turn, like I can't make anything like that up. And most people here know that my favorite deck of all time is Nekroz. My Nekroz build plays Ben 10, you know. I've been doing the whole Vanity's Lock thing for formats, you know. It's just getting popularized with Drytron. But I'm even okay losing Ben 10 at this point because what Drytron does is just not okay. It's almost like having Block Dragon when like Megaclops was like OCG, you know. Like those two things just can't really exist together, in my opinion. Key also says that Pankratops could come back, maybe semi-limited, and I definitely agree with that, man. I feel like Pankratops is one of those cards that's really good if you know like when you're going. And even if you know like you're going second, like you play a go second deck, I don't think that like 2 Pankratops in your deck is gonna make you like way more powerful than me. I feel like that would just be like a Cyber Dragon with a MST, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? Key agrees that Dragoon and VFD should get hit. Those are good opinions for sure. And he agrees that Called By should also come back a little bit more. I honestly feel like I'm not the only one that didn't at all expect Called By to get limited. I don't think that that was like something that should have happened. You guys can chime in and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that Called By was an essential card. What else we got here? Okay. Sneaky. What's OP, bro?
I mean, to be honest, bro, I think Verte should be hit.
You think he should be banned?
Instead of Dragoon. And the
Yeah, for
reason
certain.
why is the reason why is because even with me, like when I'm trying to break my opponent's board, I'm baiting every single thing they have, and then simply go into Verte, Dragoon pop their cards, and then attack for game. Like that's just broken. I mean, I feel like if you're building a deck around Dragoon and that's your whole strategy, like good luck, like drawing the 3 fusions in your whole deck. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I feel like Verte should be hit. VFD hit for sure. Called By to 3, Misk to 1. But to be honest, I would argue that Misk should stay at 3, and then what is it? The Searcher should go to 1. Because I feel like,
You think
that
Obi should go
Searcher.
to 1?
No. The spell. What is it?
Dig.
Yeah, dig,
okay.
yeah. Because I feel like, okay, they can run 1 Misk, and I agree they can play it only 1 time, and after that, whatever, you can interact and you don't have to worry about it. But also I feel like, with that dig is just so versatile. Like if you have that 1 Misk in hand, that dig is searching whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have only 1 dig and then you don't draw the Misk, and they just play dig, they're most likely going to try and search, Ovi or Misk. But to be honest, either is a fair argument. I mean,
I definitely feel like Dig is like a really free bait. Players that aren't experienced against dinosaurs are going to waste that Ash Blossom. I'm not going to lie to you. They're going to activate Dig first, and they're going to waste that Ash, not even thinking that, oh, they probably already have Miscellaneous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's more advice for people that are like just trying to learn. Just listening in on this, I strongly believe that you should save that Ash or, that Crow or whatever you have for the Misk. That's what I feel like is the most effective stop against dinosaurs. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, when they banish.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or like
when
even
banish,
like when they send it, like if they banish that for effects, go ahead and Ash it. If they just send it for the protection, if you have DD Crow it. Just get that Misk out of the way, and you're gonna have a much easier game against dinosaurs, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else you feel is on the verge of being too good, man?
Pendulums?
I would have to, we'd have to see how that format plays out, but if you guys think about it, like all the cards that we're deciding to hit, I feel like if like those happen, I think we're going more towards like a control-based format now.
I agree.
You
I
guys
had that
agree?
same thought.
Like big time. And I think, to be honest, thinking about that now, Dragoon should probably be hit because in a control format, I mean, I think Dragoons is too strong, way too strong.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see these players that are still committed to like Buster Blader, Dragoon, Eldritch, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
like they are playing 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, so if you ban Verdi, that doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Like they just really have all the access to things that they need to make their deck that ultimate control deck. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Key says that he would love to see Eldritch get limited, and I agree, trust me, but I feel like that would never happen.
The one problem with that though is there's only like a lot of Eldritch players are only playing one.
Yeah, they're only playing 1 or 2
Most
tops.
builds I see play the 2, yeah.
So I feel like bumping it down to 2 won't do anything. Bumping it down to 1, they just won't do. Just because, you DD Crow or something and, your deck's just not playable.
I would definitely like to though, because let's be honest here. I feel like DD Crow is really good, but no one wants to main 3 DD Crow. So if Eldritch players really could only have access to 2 Lord, it would give us that reign to kind of play the 2 Crow and feel comfortable doing it. You know what I mean? Like you go down 1, I'll go down 1, and we'll call it fair.
Yeah, I
Oh, what was I
agree.
gonna
I agree.
fuck?
He says he has a
You're
question.
gonna love this one, Damien.
Let
I
me
was
hear.
thinking about it more. Nadir Servant needs to be hit.
Daniel, I want to hug you right now.
That card is so nuts.
Literally, like, that's the reason why I'm still playing Ash, that and Misk, honestly. Like, I was looking at my hand traps earlier, deciding of what to, like, swap out. And, like, I don't know, man. I'm just so afraid of getting Servants, like, resolved on me. It's just too good of a card. It's plus for no reason.
Honestly, looking at my deck list right now, I honestly hope Quick Launch and Dragoons gets hit, bro. That's 10 cards in my deck right now. I can just take out and run like hand traps or something.
Yeah, I don't have that
That's
space
crazy.
having to play 40. Key's question is according to you, why Drytron is not meta in the OCG. And for my answer to that, I really don't keep track with OCG stuff just because we're like in completely different realms most of the time. Like we still have similarities. OCG still has like some of the better players, period, for sure. But I feel like TCG is just always kind of gonna do its own thing. Like we seen like when they had Dragoon, they abused Dragoon. We have Dragoon, and people are still opting to play like Dragon Link without Dragoon, and people are playing other combo builds or Eldritch builds that don't even play Dragoon. So I feel like it's just all gonna come down to where you play. I feel like we're gonna see that Dragoon spike, and we're gonna be like them pretty soon. But I feel like just those differences is kind of what sets our format apart. You know what I mean? Like they play so differently. Konami feels like they can have Firewall to 1. You think they would ever do that for us? You know what I mean? Like no, never.
Well, they got full power striker damn near over there. They
Yeah,
got 2
yeah.
engage,
Like
2
like we're just
multi-roll.
different
If you
players.
gave us,
that's
if you gave us
crazy,
1
bro.
engage, it'd be over.
Right. So my answer to that question, in my opinion at least, like I said, you guys could disagree or feel like I'm wrong. I might be. You know what I mean? I'm not all knowing. But I think that Drytron is like I think Drytron's the second coming of Necroz. And Necroz was a tier 0 deck. There weren't decks that could compete with it. I played a lot today, and every time I lost the die roll to Drytron, I lost the game. And it wasn't close. It was me opening hand traps, hitting good choke points, but them still nonstop resolving Ben 10, them ending on whatever they want with 5 cards in their hand. And with everything that I see from that, I strongly believe that Drytron is going to be the best deck. People say it's slow or it hasn't caught on yet, but I definitely believe that Drytron is like going to push us to tier 0. The only thing, Drytron is a win machine versus Zodiac. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like easily outable for like certain decks, but for me and like other people, I feel like are gonna see it soon. I just feel like Drytron is like one of the better decks. Some people think that VW is better, but from the resource management, I just don't believe it. Like I can stop VW with 2 hand traps every time, but against Drytron, I don't even think it's gonna matter without like Droll.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta start maining Droll in main deck.
Yeah, bro, literally, I cut Infinite Impermanence from my build and put in Droll in locks. I never would have thought I'd do some shit like that like 2 or 3 formats ago. Never, ever. Imperm's so good, but like you just need it to play against some decks. And when you need cards like in your main deck in order to compete, I feel like that's what pushes a format towards that tier 0. Like Necros format had people maining Dark Hole, Book of Eclipse, like anything they could think of to get rid of that gen lock. And now I'm in that same position against Strytron, if that kind of makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Thinking about Dragoon, I feel like the reason why Konami hasn't hit Dragoon is because Dragoon for like the tier 2 and rogue decks just make them so much more viable. The fact that you have that option. And I feel like, if you got, let's say they took Dragoon off this past ban list, along with everything else. VFD doesn't get hit, whatever, but they add Dragoon to the list. I feel like that just makes people like you either play the meta decks or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because those tier 2 decks without Dragoon, you hit them at their choke point and it's basically game from there.
Yeah,
If you
they
know
don't
the
have
matchup.
a booster. They don't have an extra boost.
So, I mean, I feel like that's why Konami hasn't hit Dragoon, because it's so weird that it's, people keep saying it's going to get hit, but, it really hasn't yet.
Yeah, for sure. And like Dragoon's definitely one of the best cards ever printed. I'm not going to deny that. You can read it and see that it's amazing, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
it's still play aroundable, you know what I mean? And I definitely agree with what you said, man. Like if they do hit everything besides like these top like 2 decks being VW and Drytron, like you said, it's either you play the meta or you just kind of lose. And from my
Yeah.
experience playing in those tier 0 formats, that's exactly what it was. If you didn't play Dragon Ruler, you weren't playing the game. If you didn't play Necros, you were losing to Necros. And now I just feel like if you're not playing Drytron or VW, you're losing to Drytron or VW. And I'm like number 5 on singles right now saying that. You know what I mean?
Damn it.
And like I played awful earlier, guys. I woke up today and I was at like 1,030 rating maybe. I literally went down to like 800 something and climbed back up to like 1,040 something. So like I'm not just winning all of my games and like not looking back. I'm like getting up there and I'm like taking these experience losses to really see how to compete in the format. You know what I mean? And just from the experience I've gained, man, it just looks like we're creeping up on that. If you're not playing Drytron or VW, you're just losing to it. And that's not really a format anyone's going to like playing in. So I feel like on this next ban list, we have to have a huge one. We have to have a really effective one, not just Link Cross getting banned and something else. Like we need like, hey, this whole format needs to be re-evaluated. And Sneaky even mentioned earlier that like trap cards are getting out of hand. I look through all the trap cards that are at 3 and it makes my butt sweat. We have Crackdown at 3, we have Imperm at 3, we have Torrential at 3, we have Nibiru, I'm sorry, not Nibiru, we have Bottomless at 3, we have Punishment at 3, we have Judgment at 3. Name a single Solemn card right now that's affected by the ban list.
No.
Back in my day, Judgment was at 1.
Yep.
So like just seeing how many trap cards are available, I feel like on this next list they have to be very careful to not push us into that set 5 meta because it's likely. It's very likely. That's why I was concerned with them banning Link Cross because as you guys have probably seen, it kind of marked the end of combo. Like I'm still a combo player playing rocks, but when was the last time you played against Dragon Link? When was the last time you played against an Infernoble Knight? And take that answer and reply to it with when was the last time you played against Eldritch?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we see those stun decks way more than combo as of now, so I'm hoping they don't get too crazy with it. But we are approaching that hour mark, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask that one last question and get us all wrapped up. Xenon, I didn't ask you yet, man. What's OP, man?
So, for me playing against Drytron, I don't really have too much trouble because I just let them do their stuff.
Right.
How
do you play around that Vanity's Ruler Dragoon lock that they love to do so much?
Dragoon. So I would, if they'll probably. So my deck has I main deck Evenly. I main deck Lightning Storm.
Are you still able
Super
to get around the
Poly,
ruler? Like, can you play around the Vanity's ruler?
Mystic Mine.
Oh, I mean, you're right.
You want to stall against 60? Sure. But I've seen. I don't know if anybody revealed this yet, but I've seen people actually when Six Sam made that video about using Thunder of Ruler or whatever to skip your battle phase. There's actually I've seen a better version of it. It's called Parthian Shot. It's a counter trap, so you cannot even play evenly matched against Drytron.
And
So
that's
if
something
you
that they just have access to?
so you run a card called Guiding Ariane.
Yeah, the pendulum that searches
Yeah, the pendulum.
Yeah.
So you use that, you pop it, then you search out the counter trap.
Mm-hmm.
So the dry trap
And it's a light fucking fairy.
Yes. And it's a fairy too.
See, look at the access that Drytron has to like all of these like just game shifting cards. Like these are cards that could like just do so much, have such an impact.
I saw someone using that on me, the Parthian Shot, but before I just Cosmic Cyclone, the Parthian Shot, and it was almost
Saved
over
your
from
life,
there.
didn't it?
It saved my life. But if people are starting to play, like they shift over from the the Vanity's ruler thing, or they equip it with Guiding Ariane and Parthian Shot stuff, like you not being able to special summon, you not able to play your main phase, and you not being able to play your battle phase, you're dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Dead.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You might as well start putting Swift Scarecrows in your deck.
Switch to fucking Necros, dude. Valkyris.
Okay. So as well seeing the ban list, it was pretty straightforward. Like for me as a going second player, I hate not accessing my super polys because of Destruction Sword.
Right.
The second one was Link Cross.
Destruction Sword definitely got like once that card came out, Super Poly lost a lot of relevancy.
Yeah.
Like I was playing Fluffle beforehand, and I was just winning because Super Poly, but not anymore.
The hero hype, when heroes first came out with the Master Rule, then everyone would play Super Poly.
Oh yeah, for sure. I honestly still side them because there's a guy at our like locals that plays heroes. You never know.
Then you play Shadal or you play Invoked. Super Poly was my best friend. Link Cross, I didn't have too much because I would sphere mode any board that I didn't feel comfortable with.
If it was combo, you just drop the spear on it.
Yeah, the sphere mode, Lava Golems, Kaiju package.
We're gonna have to do like an in-depth interview with you one of these days with like a fucking profile, because I don't like all these cards you're naming should not be able to fit into a single deck. All these cards.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it with a 60 card deck.
Smoke Grenade do well, bro. You do well. I wouldn't have invited you here if you didn't do well.
I'm going up the ranking list too far. I'm almost retired, or there's no point in me playing anymore.
Nah, man, you got to keep grinding, bro. Once COVID ends, we got to get our invites.
I don't play in real life, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
There a reason, or like you just don't want to pay for cards?
Yeah, it's just too expensive.
We might have to hook you up one day, bro, because I'm definitely looking to travel once we can again.
You want to travel to Toronto?
I'm trying to go to every regionals I can, honestly, once they're available. I feel like me not going was kind of taking that freedom for granted. So like now that like it's popping again, or like when it becomes popping again, I definitely want to travel to play the game, man. I'm trying to go to Canada. I'm trying to go to Cali. I'm trying to go to Texas. I'm going everywhere.
Yeah, I do want to see. I've been to a couple Toronto ICSs, or I've seen vendors, but with the meta shifting right now, I do feel like playing a deck right now. If I were to play in real life, I would just sell all my stuff, because it's hard to predict the meta, or with COVID, we don't know how it's going to end. Even in the States, with COVID, it's at least going to take another year to resolve, to have actual tournaments.
Oh yeah, 1000%. To have
So
like
I
sanctioned
have a few
tournaments at
friends.
least.
Yeah, I have a few friends who I've met while selling stuff. They're like, they sold their Dino deck, they sold Virtual World, they sold everything, but they just, because of COVID, they're like, there's no tournaments. There's no point of me even vending. They're like, vending, I almost lose money.
Yeah, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh's always been a froggy market, if you ask me. Like, I haven't always played in person, but now that I have, I can kind of see how things like fluctuate. Like, we're looking at things like Golden Lord that were 100 plus upon release, and now we see them for like $5.
Oh, yeah, you guys are in the States. Yeah.
Yeah,
With
Borreload Savage
American
once
Gold,
reached like 130. You know what I mean? I just bought it from RJ for like $9 like a month or two ago.
yeah, but I do collect in real life. I could show you some of my photos. Or I'm a very heavy Dark Magician girl lover, though.
That's actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I was getting my girlfriend into the game like when they first like noticed me playing it, and like that's what they wanted to build at first, but then they were getting creamed on it and they didn't want to build it anymore.
other than that, the format is actually not bad. I do think in Virtual World, to get hit, I think you would need to hit the spell.
You don't think that?
Kunlong?
You mean the Kinlong thing, the equip? I
Kunlong,
mean
yeah, that needs
the
to get hit.
continuous.
Yeah, that needs to get hit. And probably, I'm not sure Lulu should get hit or something else.
I feel like that's like the big starter, either Lulu or
Lulu
the
or
Kinlong.
the spell. Yeah, the
That's why
spell.
Droll's
The
so
trap.
effective right now, bro. Because literally all VWs add to well, I don't know if all of them do, but like they're gonna try to start by adding something to their hand. And like once you droll that, if you see it, like they don't really have that much unless they open God. You know what I mean?
Yes. Other than that, I see Rubber 21. I actually talked to him a little bit. He plays Orcus.
Yeah, I
Orcus
was looking for
Control.
him, but he wasn't online when I was messaging people.
Yeah, he actually played Orcus, and he's actually been doing really well. And of course, people say Heartpour should come to 1 because it builds control decks. Or
If Harpour went to 1, Orcus would be at full power.
Mm.
Orcus would be at full power. That was what I was debating when the ban list came out that banned Harp. I was like, what are they gonna do to this? I was concerned they might ban IP, because like literally like Harpour at 1 doesn't change anything. You Armageddonite it, you Grepher it, you Isold summon it. It doesn't matter as long as it's at 1. You can access it, and then you can Wonder Wand
or
it back so you can access it again.
if you, unless you play Rusty and you put it back at 3, but I don't think it'll do anything too much.
I really like what they did just by banning it and making Gersu a card. I feel like that was a fair replacement. In my opinion, I don't see Orcus getting that much representation.
Yeah, it's too. Or Ultradice. Ultradice is actually doing pretty well. I told some of the players to play for Jice. One guy, Steam Bun, he was playing Witch's Strike. Witch's Strike. So it's a
I
trap
actually
card
read that card and I was like, this card don't suck.
Yeah. Or I told them to, of course, my great tech, Awakening the Dragons.
Daniel knows all about that. That deck, that card. Daniel knows all about that. Daniel plays more Altergeist than anyone I think I've met.
Yeah. Or Guru for as a good semi-control deck, but it does brick a lot. Or if you don't have the Sub-Terra Guru,
yeah,
you're having a hard time to play the game.
No,
I'm not
gonna
gonna
say
lie.
this right now. Let me say this right now. I've played against Sub-Terra more times than I can count.
Yeah, for sure you have.
Anytime they do not resolve, there can only be one. I just win the game.
Floodgate's really dominant, or that one Sub-Terra trap card. Like, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the trap decks I played against, excluding Eldritch, because that's in its own like trap card world, I definitely feel like when it comes to like stun decks, like set decks, that Guru's better than Altergeist. I think Altergeist is still an amazing deck, don't get me wrong. But I think that when it just comes to like my win percentage against like Guru, against like Altergeist, I feel like Guru has the advantage. And maybe that's just because I played against Daniel so much, so I know how to play against Geist now, and I don't have that practice against Guru. But for me, I definitely struggle more against Guru than I do Altergeist.
Or I see the most annoying combos from Guru is they go Dragoon, then they'll set the Guru, then they'll set like some random number, and they have one card in hand.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Activate Red
just
Eyes
over
Fusion,
from
set
there.
Guru, set a card pass.
It's
Well,
just
they'll
over
do
from
the
there.
Zexal one.
What should come back?
Wait, what? Are you
I
talking
heard
to me?
someone say something should come back or something.
No, he's talking about the Dragoon build, or they can also do the Zexal build, where they just turbo out Zexal and then set the Guru and then just go nuts.
If I had $1 for every time I lost to like fucking Mystic Mine Zexal, I'd have like $6.
I do feel like representation for Zexal 2, it's not doing too hot too. I don't see much.
For sure. They've definitely stopped playing it as much as they used to when it first came out.
But I see it a lot in Outlich though. Zexal Outlich, it's actually doing still pretty well. Some of the guys are still playing it.
Yeah, I could see that. I just really agree with what Key said, that like the Trap Eldritch build is just so much better. Like, honestly, even though it's popping, I don't even see like Dogmatica Eldritch invoked as like the better archetype, because you have to open like a piece of all of your engines in order to like excel. But like when it comes to just trap cards and Eldritch, I feel like that's where like the niche is that you have to really struggle with, you know?
A lot of people are trying to like hit on the invoked core. Do you guys think it's gonna get hit or no? Because people are tired of one card Mechabus.
See, I've been thinking that Alistair or something in Invoke should get touched for a while, but now at this point, I'm just like, get rid or limit Nadir Servant, and I won't complain about it ever again. And that's how I live life. How about you guys?
I feel that's fair. That is fair, because Nadir with Ecclesia, like it just makes Macabre very lively.
Yeah.
But I feel like invokes, especially how I play it, because let's say they have a bunch of monsters. I flip the Mystic Mine, I summon Invoker, I go into Purgatrio, and I just whip their board. And I just drop the Invoker.
People don't even like think that that's a card. I forget it exists a lot of the time. I lost to a guy that played a Purgatrio on me earlier because he opened like 3 Alistair.
Yeah, like stuff like that, right? Like I've done that combo too. Like or let's say they have one back row, you make into Nightmare Phoenix, pop the last back row, then you'll invocation into the Purgatrio, and you perfectly have no monsters. You only have that one perk, and they at least have 2 or 3, or let's say even you set rotation them too, so they have an extra field board. You just run them over too.
Yeah, Invoked is still just really potent. They have like access to a really good collection of fusions. It's not just the Mechaba. I feel like that's the mistake that people make, is like, oh, Mechaba's OP. Mechaba's definitely a good card, but Invoked is just a good archetype.
Yeah, it's just a good overall. It should be hit. I do think max it should be hit. Invocation should be hit, just to limit it the spamming.
Honestly, I'm okay with that, because that adds some element of, okay, I can shut you down. Like, if I had $1 for every time I like ashed Alistair, but they still had Invocation in their hand, like, I'd be balling. I would have way more than $6.
Or like they can't do the spam combo. So they go. Let's say if they have 2 invocations in hand, 1 invocation in hand already. Normal summon Invoker. They add the second one. They have a bunch of back row. You invocation. You make Purg. Drop the Invoker. Then you make Macabre to negate anything that is problematic.
Key says that the invoked engine should stay how it is. I like it. I like a different opinion.
I do agree with you, Key, because that's my deck. But I am saying if it would ever get hit, that should how it be like, because like back then when was it Rainbow Neos was the thing. everyone was running Mech Knight Invoked.
Oh my god, Mech Knight Invoked Rainbow Neos was like the best go second deck ever.
Don't at me. I came over to your house, Damien, and I fucked you up with that deck.
Ever, Daniel. It's so good going second. It's
And
so bad
people-
going first, but it's so good going second.
People just underestimate. They're like, "Oh, you're setting." Like people start setting, and you set one. They're just like, "Okay, you're gonna pass your turn, or you're not gonna do anything." Then you just summon Mech Knight. Like, oh fuck.
Dude, I used to, bro, literally, I would start sweating when my opponent would go second and set one card in, like, the same column. I would literally Cosmic it or something if I have it. Like, no, don't open another spell. Please don't do this to me, bro. Like, I hate Mech Knights so much. I hate Mech Knights. They're so good. That's why I hate them. No one plays them anymore. But they're so good. Yeah, RJ even plays what... Dude, literally, okay, I never once read the Mech Knight link that's like, you can't touch this card unless you do this. I don't know what the fuck it says. Like the sunset something. I don't know what it is, dude. But RJ made that against me once, and I literally just scooped because I didn't know what the fuck to do against that card. It's like a Link 2 or something. I definitely could not handle it.
Oh yeah, Morningstar.
Morningstar. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Ban Morningstar. But honestly, guys, I think I want to wrap it up here. We've been chatting for like an hour and 11 minutes. I think we got a little podcast going on here. Definitely thank you guys for coming on and like talking to me. Like I said, there were a couple people or one person that didn't feel like hopping on, but thank you guys for making this possible. I definitely appreciate the insight, the opinions, you know what I mean? We're definitely going to have some more of these, so if you guys are, interested or anything like that, I'm going to message you guys when it goes down, and hopefully we can get you back in here.
All
right. I don't know the name of my channel, but thanks for watching it, and subscribe if you like what you see so far. All right. Yeah.